Hey people of the VC, it's Andy aka Cloudy Milder back for the 8th installment of my 3 random record series. This is of course, I'm sure most people have watched, if you're watching this one you've probably watched the other ones because I seem to get a very steady viewing count for these ones. So you guys know how this works by now. I ask my viewers to pick a number between 1 and 150. One that's not been chosen before, hopefully, and I will show you the record in my collection that corresponds to that number. So all my records that I had that before I started showing new editions on the vinyl community totaled 150 80s metal hard rock records, and yeah, so episode 8, let's get going. So first up, number 17 was selected by Jake Harris. So Jake is fairly new on the VC, but he shows his video is pretty cool. He shows a lot of 80s metal as well, actually, and a few other things. So if you've not checked out his channel, I'll leave a link below and check him out. So number 17 is a pretty famous album. I'm sure you've all heard of this band called Metallica. Ride the Lightning. Okay, their second album. This is an original 84 UK pressing. Music for Nations, number 27. I'm sure most people in the vinyl community are familiar with this. I only picked it up on vinyl myself in the last couple of years, so we've got some nice band pictures. I also thought this picture here was an interesting one. So you've got a band here, all very rock and roll, yet I can never do this backwards on the camera. You've got Lars there drinking from a nice big bottle of water, and the state of Kirk Hammett's socks. I mean, honestly, if his mum looked at that photo, she'd probably have a fit with him for going out with socks like that. I know my mum would have. But yeah, there we go. I digress. But we have the lyric sheet, and so still a couple of songs on here from co-written by Dave Mustaine. Ride the Lightning itself and Call of Cthulhu. I was surprised actually that they called the album Ride the Lightning, given that what's the label? Given that the title track of the album was co-written by Dave Mustaine. I mean, obviously they didn't want him in the band at the time, replaced him with Kirk Hammett before Kill 'Em All. But then they choose a song that he co-wrote to be the name of the album. I mean, I would have thought maybe Fade to Black, although that's probably been used before. Creeping Death even would have been a better. I think it still would have been a cool album anyway. So Metallica, I mean, they've always been labelled as one of the bands that started thrash, but I think this, I don't. When I think of thrash, I think of bands like Testament, Nuclear Assault, the early Anthrax, and Kill 'Em All was. I mean, that was probably a thrash album, but some of the tracks on here, certainly Fade to Black. I mean, Fade to Black is almost like a ballad. You can't have a ballad on a thrash album. So I think this was actually more of an indicator of things to come with the likes of the Black Album. But maybe that's just me. I mean, I always liked I really like the Metallica stuff up to And Justice for All, and then I kind of lost faith with them a bit, and really lost track of them since then. So they might have done some really good stuff since then, and I might be giving them a hard time Perhaps just overanalyze albums like this because I know them so well. I start looking and trying to pick faults rather than just appreciate them for what they were at the time. But I mean, Metal Theologian gave this an honorary mention for his 1984 video recently, and he called out the issues with it, his issues with it, with Fade to Black and Call It Cthulhu. Now, I'd forgotten actually that was an instrumental, and so when I was playing it prior to this video, I thought I'd give everything just a really good listen to and see what I thought about it. And yeah, I actually found that with Call It Cthulhu that I concentrated to the point, but I got distracted by something. I'm usually sitting here at my computer doing stuff while I'm listening to records, and I kind of forgot it was on. And the next thing I knew, it was, you could hear the record just clicking around at the end, having finished. So yeah, I think Aaron, you had a good point on that one. And the other crazy thing is, I don't know why it's called out an instrumental, but it's got lead bass Cliff Burton. And I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke or something, but you know, they've not called out any instruments on any of their albums, and he plays bass on every other song, so why lead bass on that one? I don't know. But anyway, it's probably my least favourite of the 80s Metallica albums, but you know, it does have some classic tracks on here. Trapped Under Ice, Creeping Death, my two favourites on there. But anyway, thank you, Jake Harris, for playing along. Number 17 in my collection, Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Okay, next up I have, it's another newbie to the VC. This time James Griffiths. He shows a whole host of different stuff, not really metal as such, but you know, there's all different kinds of genres and musics, and videos on his 45s. He's done some competition responses, but he's building up a subscriber base pretty fast. So he also does some rant videos as well, which are quite funny, which is not surprising for somebody else from the UK, because we do like to have a good old moan about things. But he chose number 42, and again another, I guess, fairly classic album. That's Theatre of Pain, Motley Crue. Now I like this album. I know a lot of I think it does tend to divide opinion with people I've spoken to, but I kind of like it. Although this is where my interest in Motley Crue fades. I don't really have anything after this. I was a little unsure when I bought it. So my introduction to Motley Crue. So we're talking before the internet. It was around 85 when this actually came out. This is on Elektra, and it's a UK pressing. So it was around 85 I started listening to Motley Crue, but it was Shout at the Devil was my introduction to them, and it was on one side of a C90 tape, which I copied from somebody else. So I didn't know what the band looked like, and Shout at the Devil I really got into and I liked. So I remember when I saw this, picking it up and going for it, and then looking at the back cover and seeing Vince Neil in pink spandex, all the big hair makeup, the white suspenders, and thinking, what the hell? I mean, I was probably fairly sheltered upbringing. I said that the occasional metal magazine at the time, but I was around 14 years old, and this was kind of eye-opening for me, seeing a band like this. But because I liked Shout at the Devil, I saw this, I can't remember which shop it was in, but I kind of remember the experience, that I went along, picked it up, and didn't stop me buying it. But I enjoyed it. It's a lot more commercial sounding, certainly more towards the way that they were going towards the late 80s, but still kind of sounds quite raw as well, which I like. Now, the one thing that does bug me, and you know, there's always something that bugs me on an album, so I like to talk about it, is the track listing on here and the on the lyric sheet. There we go. A bunch of pretty boys. The track listing is in alphabetical order, and I hate it when they do that. I mean, I like to look at the album cover, certainly when I'm listening to a new record, sitting down, going through the record, or lay on my bed when I was a kid and look at the record and read the track list off and look at what's coming up next. Look at the song that was last on, and trying to imprint memory into the name of the song and against the sound. But when it's in alphabetical order, you can't do that. You don't know, necessarily, unless the song is repeating ad infinitum the name of the title. And then in small letters here it says, small words, if it's going to focus, C label for sequence. So when the record's playing, it's difficult enough to read the label. But when the label is tiny, tiny silver text on a red background, so if I can get it to focus, not only is it difficult to read when it's stationary, but when it's spinning at 33 RPM, yeah, I'm going to hope. So, always a bad idea. There's a few albums I've got like this, and it just bugs the hell out of me when it's going round. You can't tell the songs. Anyway, a few tracks I like on here. So, Louder Than Hell and Fight For Your Rights, probably two I like the best. And ones I tend to make me cringe, Home Sweet Home. Again, very ballady. I want to hear guitars, not pianos. Thank you very much on my rock and metal albums. But anyway, yeah. Number 42 in the collection, Theatre of Pain. Right, last but not least, record 111. This was selected by YouTube vinyl community legend My Analog Corner, Carsten Olsen. So Carsten has just reached 1,000 subscribers, and he's got a really good competition going on at the moment. I've put an entry in myself if you've not seen it. Check that out. But check out his channel, subscribe, and put in a video response. It's a sort of competition that everyone can get involved in as long as you're prepared to make a video. And there's been some really cool ones so far. So of course, cheers, Carsten. Prince of Denmark, as Blackmore Rules calls him. So for a treat. So Carsten, you chose number 111, and this is a record that's been shown 2 or 3 people recently on very recent videos as well. So by coincidence, I'm showing it too. So that's it's an EP, I guess, not a single. I always used to think of it as a 12-inch single, but it's a 6-track EP. Plays at 33 RPM as well, so like a mini album. And it's Anthrax, I'm the Man. 1987, Island Records. I loved this when it came out. This song, I was a teenager. It was something a bit different. I would never have admitted to liking rap, but this was Anthrax. This is my favourite band when I was a kid, and they were doing it, so it must be alright. Saw them live a couple of times. Saw them do this track a couple of times, and it was fun. They'd stop here, they'd change to their shorts, jump around the stage. Joey Belladonna would go on drums, and it was fun. But over the years, and the more I played it, I gradually just got a little bit sick of hearing it, to be honest with you. And yeah, I don't listen to it at all anymore, which is a shame, especially as half this album, half this record is I'm the Man tracks. So there's side A, I'm the Man, censored radio version. Why do you want a censored radio version? Because the whole point, takes away the whole point of the song to me. I'm the Man, deaf uncensored version, and on side B, I'm the Man live, extremely deaf, ill uncensored version. But what is good on this album is on side A, there's a cover of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, which I enjoy, and on side B, there's 2 live tracks from July the 11th, 87 at the Arcadia Theatre in Dallas from the Among the Living tour. That's Caught in a Mosh and I Am the Law, and they both sound really good. Vinyl has two different island labels, one sort of dark blue and one light blue. So there we have it. 3 random records for this episode: Metallica, Ride the Lightning, Motley Crue, Theatre of Pain, and the Anthrax EP, I'm the Man. Thank you to James Harris, Jake Harris, sorry, James Griffiths, and Carsten Olsen for selecting the numbers. Thank you to everybody who's submitted numbers. I've got enough to actually last me through the next 2 episodes as well, but don't let that stop you suggesting another number. I've set up a blog post page which shows all the records that we've selected so far and all the numbers that are still left to select. So if you want to get involved, click the link below in the description, yeah, get involved and help me continue to make these records. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.